For this episode of Soldier Tech Battlefield, I'm going to be doing a Soldier Q&A where I'm going to be answering a lot of the questions that I get asked a lot down in the comments down below. So let's go ahead and start the show. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode of Soldier Tech Battlefield. I'm your host, Mark Watson, otherwise known as Soldier Knows Best. And on this episode, I'm going to be doing a Q&A so I can go ahead and answer a lot of the questions that I get asked the most about what type of phone I use and some of the things like that. So I'm going to knock all those questions out right now here on the show. And I do promise that I'll have some more battle comparisons between actual products coming up very soon for you guys. Now I was going to jump into these questions with the first question. Is probably the one I get asked the most. And this is, what is your daily phone? Now, there's been a lot of awesome phones come out lately, like the HTC One and the Samsung Galaxy S4, and I really love those phones, and I've been carrying them around with me a lot. But the phone I still go to for my daily phone is the iPhone 5, and I'm really into the app ecosystem that is on iOS, and especially on the iPhone 5, of course. And so for me, the iPhone 5 is still a very solid all-around phone, and because of the applications that are on it, I still find that's the phone that I want to pick up every day and use. But I will have to say that if the HTC One was on my carrier Verizon right now, that will probably be enticing me just a little bit, but the iPhone 5 is the phone that I carry around every single day. And the next question is, what cameras do I use for my videos? Well, the camera you see me on right now is the Logitech C920 webcam. Now, this is a camera. It's very easy for me to record into the program I use for my editing, which is ScreenFlow. And so it's a very nice high quality camera that can record in 1080p video. It's great for Skype calls and things like that as well, but I use that for all the times you see me on camera. And then what I use for all my different product shots, I use the Canon Mark III, which is a DSLR, very nice high quality. I use it all for video though. I really haven't taken any pictures on it just yet, but it's a very nice expensive camera, which I'm still learning to perfect. Now, before I was using the Canon Mark III though, I was using the Canon T2i and then the Canon 60D. So those cameras are still great if you're looking to get into this type of work. But for right now, these are the two cameras that I use the most for my videos. Now the next question is, what is my favorite tablet? Now I will have to say my favorite tablet right now is the iPad, the big size iPad and the iPad mini. Now when I'm traveling, I mostly carry the iPad mini around with me. When I'm chilling here at home, I mostly have just the regular size iPad on my couch somewhere. But I will have to say that if I had to compare the iPad mini to the Nexus 7, which I actually did here on Soldier Tech Battlefield, the Nexus 7 for its price and function is still, I think, a better deal than the iPad mini. Just kind of personal preference. I like the iPad mini for the apps, and I have all my media and stuff in iTunes. But I will have to say, just right now as a whole, the iPad still is the best tablet. Now the next question is, what do I think about Google Glass? Now I was lucky enough to actually use Google Glass up in Seattle, Washington at Vlog Affair, which is this event that Chris Pirillo put on where a whole bunch of us vloggers got together and talked about vlogging and tech stuff and all that good stuff. But anyway, I got a chance to use Google Glass, and I want to say it's a very interesting experience. I like the hardware of it. It's pretty solid. It's very lightweight. Once you put it on your head, I mean, you know it's there, but it's just like wearing another pair of regular glasses. When you actually start using it to take photos and videos and scroll through the menu and things like that, it's very intuitive. It's very fun. It's very exciting to use. Now I don't know how really common this thing will be once it actually releases out to the public, but we'll have to say that Google is on the right step here with this type of wearable technology, and it still is in beta. They're still working and tweaking things like that. But I think if we see a whole bunch of the major app developers come on board and start developing apps specifically for Google Glass, I think it can really start to take off. Now, of course, they're going to need to bring that price point down. I know the price point now just for beta people is like $1,500, but hopefully when it finally launches, if it's around $500 or something like that, I think they could have a winner on their hand, but they still have an uphill battle to deal with privacy and those things with businesses already banning Google Glass. But in my little time that I was able to use it, I did like it. I did find it to be functional and useful in some situations, but I think the price point is really going to dictate how successful it's going to be. Now the last question is probably the hot question of the moment right now. This is Xbox One or PS4. Now, if you had to ask me right after E3, I would have to say that it would have been the PlayStation 4. But after E3, Microsoft kind of wised up after they saw the users and the gamers really not liking all these privacy things and all this stuff about the Xbox having to check in every 24 hours. And they finally got rid of all that stuff, at least for now. So it looks like they're on the right track with that. But I would have to say that personally, I'm looking forward to the Xbox One more than the PlayStation 4. Now, it's for the reasons that it has some unique things with the Kinect 2.0. I love love being able to sit down and automatically recognize my face and load up my favorite settings or my favorite things and apps just by recognizing my face or my voice. And I love the Kinect 2.0, being able to do the instant switching between my TV and the game, and searching through channels and TV shows just by talking to it. I mean, it's really going to eliminate the need to really have a remote control in your couch, probably in between your couches. That's where mine ends up most of the time. But I really like the Kinect 2.0 and all those things that are going to be interesting with the Xbox One. Now, when it comes to the games, I think PlayStation 4 is going to have the better launch lineup of games. Watch Dogs, and even though The Division, I think, is coming on Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, I think that the PlayStation 4 is going to be a little bit more powerful of a system, and it's probably going to have the best looking games with Killzone and stuff. They really impressed me with those games. But I think the Xbox One is going to have some good lineup of games as well. But I just think overall, when I look at using this system on a daily basis, not just for games or for entertainment, for TV watching, movie watching, and I think I'm going to be using it more throughout the day than I am going to be using the PlayStation 4. But I will be getting both of them, to be totally honest with you. So right now, I'm a little bit more excited about the Xbox One, especially as they got rid of those privacy things, at least for now again. But I think that once I get both of these systems, I will definitely be doing a comparison on this show between both of them, and we should have a really solid winner out of those two. So anyway, guys, this wraps up this first Q&A here on Soldiers Tech Battlefield. What I want you to do right now is leave a comment down below with a question that you want to ask me, and on my next video that I do on one of these, I may be answering your question right here on this video. Anyway, guys, again, thanks for watching this video. Leave your comment down below with your question, and I'll catch you later. Peace.